Hey, Dave, this is DJ Rob the Metal Guy. How you doing?
Hey, man.
Hey, Dave. I mean, you're calling all the way from Maryland. How cool is that?
That is spectacular, bro.
That's spectacular. And I gotta bring up, Dave, right off the bat, Earthride. When it comes to Sabbath-like doom, nobody, I'm telling all the fans listening, nobody does it best like you guys.
Yeah.
And bringing up that, I want to transition there, talking about the Sabbath-like doom. How big is Black Sabbath to a band like you when you were growing up? How big was Black Sabbath as an influence, in the metal world?
Oh my God. Ozzy, Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward. The Sabbath, Black Sabbath. They were probably one of my prime influences when I was like 13, and my parents bought me "We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll" for sure. Open that thing up, and you see that is a girl in there, the lady with the cross stabbed into her, this gleaming cross in the coffin with the black lipstick. I mean, it just does something to you. And then when you hear this ominous, heavy, music with some real stability, not just singing about a girl, or some love. It's singing about some really heartfelt stuff and, politics and, just like the state of the world and not the good parts.
That's true, man. It's sincerity and it's honesty. And I got to bring up, talking about that, look at your first EP. That is an EP that's amazing. Black, to me, still one of the best doom metal songs, come on, in the last 20 years. It's up there for me. And you're reissuing that EP. You mind talking about that? It's going to be reissued September, was it 14th, from Totem Cat Records. You're reissuing that first EP, right?
Yeah, yep. They kind of already. I think they already reissued it. Actually, it's out in Europe
okay.
and where available. Through Totem Cat Records, which is primarily it's a brand new label. I think it's not very old, and they've been putting out some good stuff. They're putting out the Canadian band Otis.
Interesting.
Yeah, they put out one of their records, and I think they're putting out a couple others. But they reissued the first album with a couple, our first EP with a couple live tracks on there, and it's pretty good, man. It came out pretty good.
It does, and I gotta say, I'm gonna definitely check that out. And another band I was gonna bring up, they're called Egypt. They're actually from North Dakota. They're on Earthride, and it's a band that I listen to them, and I totally hear your influence on a young band like that, that sound, the tone quality. And you listen to those early Earthride albums, I've always wanted to bring up, you guys have some of the best recordings for doom. And when you go into the studio, was that your focus, to really get the riffs, the vocals, and just throw it all together to make it sound awesome, in your face doom metal? How do you guys go about that?
Yeah, well, the first thing is that we got Chris Kozlowski on the first thing, and I was still dabbling with Spirit Caravan too before we split up, unfortunately, and then with Wino,
I want to talk about that later. Man.
Sure, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, so Chris has always been a lifelong friend of mine for years and years. I can't even remember how many years I know him, about 20 or maybe more. So, and he's always messed with the doom thing around here with Internal Void and Iron Man a little bit here and there. I don't think really recorded Iron Man, but Internal Void and an Asylum, Unorthodox, just a lot of the doom that comes from Maryland, and so we wanted to use him again. And he's worked with so many acts, Chris Kozlowski. So he's got a good tone for that, for sure, for the doom. He, worked with Wino for many years and the Obsessed, and Pentagram as well. Bobby Liebling, he's recorded plenty of Pentagram records, and the list goes on, man. He's worked with White Zombie in their with their young form, and he was a sound man for the Melvins for 9 or 10 years.
Damn, that's a nice career there, working with a lot of bands. And
yeah, he's worked with some of the top acts, I must say, and so we wanted to use him really well on the records that he's recorded for us, and yeah, they're in your face and they got some punch. But the one record we recorded, which is Vampire Circus, which is on Southern Lord.
Southern Lord, yeah.
In 2005, we put that out. But we used Mike Dean from Corrosion of Conformity on that one. So we had like the Wick Shop in North Carolina. You know, we got that real Southern feel right there. You know, because we was more down in the South. I mean, Maryland's in the South. You know, we're south of the Mason-Dixon line, and I'm real close to West Virginia here and stuff like that. But Raleigh, North Carolina, that's definitely more of the heart of the South right there. So you got that Corrosion of Conformity feel right there.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, Mike. I toured with him so many times, so used him. Yeah, both those guys are just like stellar people to work with, and yeah, they make the Doom sound like it does, you know.
And then let's you brought it up, so I feel like I gotta go into it. And I talk about this. This is a band I discovered because I liked Earthride and I liked Scotty Wino and St. Vitus and The Obsessed before. When I heard Spirit Caravan, I was blown away. How did that? Can you talk about how that kind of came up, the band, and then when you guys recorded? Because you also brought up yesterday when I talked to you for a short bit about Gary Isom. He played with a lot of bands too. It's like this was a trio where you guys really had been around the Maryland Doom scene for a while, and the formation was just amazing. It was a great formation and great albums. How'd that come up?
Yeah, well, basically when Wino came back from California, he had nothing but a prong shirt and a pair of cut-off jeans, shorts, if you will.
Wow.
Similar to Lemmy shorts, so the real short, shorts.
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway,
Yeah, the cut.
That's how Wino rolls. But he had a pair of, he would have like a pair of like flip-flops, and that was pretty much it, and a Greyhound ticket after The Obsessed, and after his, kind of demise in California after The Obsessed was on Columbia. So he came back here kind of broken, and I was in Wretched at the time, which we were on Hellhound Records.
Yeah.
And the reason I signed on the Hellhound was basically because of Scott Wino,
Yeah.
And he after all his California thing or whatever, what happened to him then, he just came back to Maryland. And I was working on a project then with John Paul from Clutch, and we were called Catfish, and I got Wino to come and step in and do a lead on it. I was playing guitar and singing on this Catfish thing. It's never been released, but anyway, that's in the vault. But
okay.
Wino played a lead on this thing, and it was spectacular, man. And he kind of started building himself back up again. He got he used my Les Paul Jr., my 61 Les Paul Jr., and he used Gary's guitar. I think he's got like a 63 Les Paul Jr. And so he started using our guitars, and we had some musicians that we were jamming with, and I said, hey man, Wino, man, let's form a band. I'll play bass. You know what he does so well, play guitar, come up with killer, singing. He's the Doom Jesus, if you will. That's how I consider him, the Doom Jesus.
That's a good analogy.
I guess I guess I consider Bobby Liebling the Doom God.
Yeah, Bobby he's still kicking and he's still fighting,
Yeah. I mean, from around here, it's like pretty much like Scott Wino and Bobby Liebling. They're pretty much the top dogs around this area, and they come from here. So, but I'm glad those guys are getting out there. But yeah, so we formed Shine, our band Shine. Me, Gary, Isom, and Scott Wino, and we started off as Shine, and we put one single with Joe Lally. You still with me?
Yeah, I'm still with you. Okay.
Okay, yeah. We put out a single with Joe Lally.
Oh, okay.
Fugazi, yeah, because see, Wino's he comes from the punk rock of DC,
Yeah.
you know, the
Yeah.
Black Flag, Henry,
Yeah.
the you know,
He played in the Mentors for a while,
and
didn't he? He was actually in the anonymously in the Mentors, supposedly based, right? Is that true? Or
yeah, Wino was in the Mentors for a minute there. I think I forget which one of them was sick, but it might have been Sicky Whitebeater was sick or something, so he filled in
well, interesting
for a
names.
couple of shows. Yeah, he put on the hood and everything. I think tour was St. Vitus and the Mentors at the time with El Duce.
That would be an interesting tour to see.
Oh my God, yes. Unfortunately, I didn't see that one, but that was probably cool. Yeah, that was awesome to hear about that. But yeah, St. Vitus is doing their thing right now too, as you know, probably.
Oh yeah, they are touring Europe, and they're going to do a U.S. tour. So.
Yup, with Sour Rain and Weed Eater.
Yep, true.
So that should be off the hook, man. I'll definitely attend that show.
Yeah,
for sure.
And actually, can I quickly transition? What's Earthride's status on touring? Are you guys ever going to get around to do a U.S. tour, or possibly come to California? Because I think there's some doom metal fans out there listening right now that would love to see Earthride.
Yeah, we've been out to California before. Once we played Frisco and we played Hollywood.
Okay.
With Family Butcher, which was weird because it was Alfredo from the Queens of the Stone Age on drums for that band. And we played with Greg Lindstrom's band from Sarah Thungal.
I never heard.
They're called Falcon.
Falcon, okay, I never heard of that.
Yeah, we played with them, and they played a Bang song. Have you ever heard of that band called Bang? Might be something to research, but yeah, they were an old 70s. Their first release came out in '71. Red Man, they played that song. But yeah, that was a cool show. But yeah, we haven't been out there in years and years and years, and that was the only time. We've never done Portland or come out west, so that would be an honor, man, to come out there. But it's just things are just so hard, you know, with the economy and stuff, and you know how doom metal is. It's not very lucrative.
And I got to bring that up to you.